Moon Jae-in government continue to believe in corrupt prosecution organizations? Ray calling the prosecutor's office for immediate dismissal of the prosecutor's column. LPN Local Power News Jang Yang-jong, a professional journalist equals Lee Byung-hyun, a prosecutor at the time of Park Geun-hye's government on March 19, 2018. 5.4 billion won in order to confiscate about 15 billion won in proceeds from the related criminal proceedings through the manipulation of bloody cases such as fraudulent lawsuits. The actual truth of the corruption cases abused by the authorities granted to the prosecutors and the prosecution and the courts. I have introduced the booklet that deals with the second criminal act and emphasize the necessity that the above cases should be dealt first in order to pursue the independence policy of the police investigation right to implement the president's pledge. However, the prosecution under the Park Geun-hye government invokes the investigation command every time the author accuses the police of the corruption case in the second criminal act of the prosecutor, concealing it, here and after the case. I had been dismissed from the police with the method of robbing the case record and writing a false judgment of the false contents without proceeding with the investigation at all. However, fortunately, the government, which was born by the candlelight vigil for the prosecution reforms, entered the police. As of August 23, 2017, when the complaint was filed, has been conducting investigations against the unjust and illegal incident of the prosecution for more than 7 months. That is to say, the complainant, I believe, is investigating the corruption case for more than 7 months at the Intelligence Crimes Investigation Unit's Intelligence Criminal Investigation Unit's second team of the Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency. Captain Baeun-chol. Although the actual truth of the case has been confirmed based on a lot of the evidence that has been submitted, the prosecution's attempt to cover the case again prevents the investigators from questioning the related lawyers and attorneys, such as the right to investigate, the right to terminate investigations, arrest warrants, seizure search warrants, and pre-arrest warrants. In this situation, the police investigation team decided to refuse the conduct of the unfair case of the prosecution in the circumstance where the proper investigation environment, such as investigation of the detainee related to the corruption case by the prosecution, was hindered by the prosecution. I would like the prosecution to dismiss only the arrest warrants and various prosecutors' inquiries related to seizure and search warrants. The complaint was filed with the Blue House on March 16, 2018, to prevent the complainant from concealing the incidents, including the corruption case and the cogwheel. But Chung Hwa-dae commanded the Supreme Prosecutor's Office to handle the case in the same way as the Park Geun-hye administration. The reason why the Chung Hwa-dae commanded the complaint to the Supreme Prosecutor's Office instead of the police agency is that the prosecution of the Moon Jae-in government is different from the prosecution of the previous Park Geun-hye government. I cannot understand whether or not I will conceal it. If Chung Hwa-dae leads the prosecution to conceal the incident, it warns that the historical resistance, as well as the independence election pledge right now, will become a waste, and that responsibility will lead to the impeachment of President Moon Jae-in. The author writes that, after experiencing the style of President Park Geun-hye's appointment as the chairman of the National People's Welfare Committee of Sung Young-hoon, the Attorney General and former chief of the investigation corruption case, on December 24, 2015. President Park has become a nation less than a group of gangsters because he finally appointed the chairman of the right committee, ministerial level, to the former lawyer, Sung Young-hoon. President Park is like a vampire sucking blood from a criminal victim. The president of Sung Young-hoon, a Pacific criminal torture lawyer who is a criminal, will be appointed president of Kwon Lee. If he's loyal to himself or herself, he will not consider the hope and communication with the people. I am confident that I will be remembered and appreciated. I am convinced that President Park, who has been appointed to the position of chairman of the National People's Interest Committee, should not only take account of transparency of the national government but merely follow instructions and loyalty. There is a bar. However, this author's claim has come back to reality only in less than a year, and Park Geun-hye's government has disappeared into history as a result of the candlelight vigil for prosecution reform. Former President Park Geun-hye, I was born to live. If the government of Moon Jae-in rejects the police investigation case in the case, like the Park Geun-hye government, and rejects the policy of independence of police investigation, which is a pledge of the presidential election without reforming the rotten prosecution, history must necessarily warn Park Geun-hye's miserable words. You should not forget that